you know, sorting it out. I'll start that over again. So yeah, this is the 1.47 dev server. For those of you not really, you know, kind of paying attention to what's been going off with regards to War Thunder, this will be the next patch to be put into the game. Now, it's adding quite a lot of new things. This is one of the new things that they have literally just mentioned. They're calling it the medium trophy booster, and apparently if I keep on relogging, this will just advance straight across the board. So if I relog now, it will come up with the tomorrow, and if I relog again, it should come up with day 2, etc, etc. So what I'm thinking of doing is just doing that quickly, just to see if that does work, and also to see what kind of rewards we get from these as well. So you will have to bear with me. That's what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to go through. YOLO. There is quite a lot of new stuff. So this particular one was a 150% RP bonus. How that works exactly, I don't know. Upon activation gives missions played 1, so it gives you 1. Really? That's supposed to be a bonus? That's more of a slap in the face. Right, let's have a look at relogging and see if I can, you know, check out any more of that. As they say, it should actually work. So, you know, let's have a quick look. Oh, come on, what are you doing, game? Yeah, whatever, you know. It's been there for quite some time. Okay, yes, I can see. How do I close that? There we go, alright. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick restop and have a look at the bonuses, see if that actually works. Apparently it should. It just give me like, I don't know, 20-30 seconds and I'll be back on again. Okay. Now I've actually switched this to my secondary hard drive, so it won't be as fast at loading into certain things. It still should be fairly quick, but it's doing the same thing again. Okay, why is that not? Yeah, Gaijin. I'm not going to start questioning that. That's going to be completely random, I think, from what I can tell from that. I'm guessing most of the time from that. Well, it's apparently 50-50. You're going to get plus lines boosters or plus RP boosters. It's a group booster as well, really? Okay. But yeah, so, you know, apparently he's going to get added in. That's not working as they kind of explained it, but that doesn't surprise me at all because, you know, it's Gaijin, they are Russian, so the translation skills, or rather the translations sometimes lag, and that being the case, I understand with that particular instance. Right, now let's have a quick look then. I've heard many things about this, one of which is, yeah, they've got added 2 new aircraft in for the Americans, actually 3. This bad boy, the A-20G, has got its friend now, apparently. Now this is the G30, it's not the G20. Wait a moment. Maybe I've just fixed the flight model with that, but I was under the impression that they were adding in a new version for that. Yeah, I might just misread it. It might just be a new flight model, because that's obviously the one I've got already. So yeah, it doesn't look as though that's changed. Now with regards to down here though, obviously, yeah, this is the one that everyone is talking about at the moment. It doesn't surprise me really. Let's just have a quick look to see how much that's going to cost me. I could easily buy that now and test it out. I might do that. That's where the bundle's set. Tickets. Tournament ticket? That's which allows you to take part in the indicated tournament. Okay. You have to buy your tickets? 1v1, 1v1. Okay. And battle trophies. 5% discount on vehicle. Ah. 10% discount. Right, so you spend gold to get a discount on a... No, is that premium? They're not premium vehicles. These are interesting ways of doing things. It's very... This, I have to say, it's not similar to the way that Wargaming do things. But it is kind of... I know that they do kind of weird deals with gold on Wargaming's World of Tanks, at least, anyway. Well, they did do when I used to play anyway. I don't touch on that game anymore. Right, now... Hang on. So you spend 3,000 gold to get 25% discount on a premium aircraft. And it contains gold? Wait, these are battle trophies, so you win these, I think? Maybe? You can buy them as well, but... yeah, this is a bit confusing. At least for me, anyway. That's random, so... Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. I'm really not. And although I do have gold, I'm not willing to just throw it away willingly on things like this when I can do it to test, or when I can use it to test out things like that. B29, for example. This as well, I'm tempted to test that out. See what this is all about. I'm assuming this is going to have a just as badly designed flight model as the English Canberras. Have a quick look. So, just wow. Really? If you guys thought that the English Canberra Mach 6 was bad, just wait until this thing gets into action. 21 250 pounders. You only need one of them to destroy a light pillbox. With 21, about, yeah, you can take out almost the entire map, and it can carry rockets as well. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Still people cotton onto that. Yeah, that's gonna be. I wonder if they really thought that one through. Quick look at it. Oh, at least it's got wheels on this time. Apparently that was a little bit of a bug. Okay, where the cannon, or where the machine guns mounted? That's the next question. Because these are fixed on the aircraft, you get them on it when you buy it. I'm not seeing any machine gun ports unless those are them there in the wings. Can't really see underneath the wings, so I can't see any ejection ports down here for the spent cartridge cases. Carries 8. Yeah, and there are 8 portholes there and there, or 4 there, 4 on the other wing. So I'm assuming that that is the case, that they are wing-mounted 50 cals. Because I'm not seeing any firing ports here or in the wing roots. There's no turrets on it, obviously. And there's no firing ports underneath the nose, which is the other place where I've seen, well, where a lot of aircraft mount them. Or above the nose, or anywhere on the nose for that matter. So yeah, I'm guessing these are wing-mounted 50 cals. With no ejection ports for the cartridges at the moment, at least, anyway. Still, that's a new one. That's getting added in. I'm expecting that to have the same kind of level of development as far as the flight model goes as the other ones, but Gaijin have just stated that they have actually changed the flight model for the Canberras. So, again, I'm tempted to test that out. Yeah, it's got loads of armour. That's actually quite thick for him to say, yeah. It's not going to protect the jet. Right. Okay, let's get on to something else. B29. Now, yeah, this is what everyone is talking about at the moment. And I can understand why. I mean, you know, it's a very iconic aircraft. But to me, it's just another target. Its armament has been nerfed apparently, down to twin MGs per turret. I believe on certain variants of the B29 there was at least 4 guns in each turret, or maybe not in all of the turrets, but you know, a few. The only, well, my kind of like initial impressions on this thing, yeah, it's big. It's got, you know, pretty much the same defensive kind of like capabilities as the B17. The issue that I kind of have with this, which yeah, well, it has kind of been previously mentioned by other people, is that it's got a battle rating of 6.7. Now, personally, I think this matchmaking needs to go as soon as possible. They need to get rid of it and, you know, just move on. It's as simple as that. The longer they delay it, the less player base is going to survive, because people are just so fed up with that stupid matchmaker. But with regards to this being actually in game at its current battle rating with the current matchmaker, yeah, it's going to die horribly. It's going to die horribly a lot. Main reasons for that is because it's battle rating. Battle rating is 6.7 basically means it's going to get thrown up against jets 100% of the time. And being thrown up against jets 100% of the time basically means it's going to get thrown up against stuff like, I don't know, Big 9s, R2Y2s, Kitsukas. It will definitely get up against Hortons, HO229s. It will get up against pretty much any of those jets that I've just mentioned will tear this thing out of the sky very easily, because they've got 30mm cannons or more, or larger rather. The size of it, yeah, that's going to basically play a big part in its demise, because it is such a large aircraft, you can hardly miss it. There's another couple of points I'll make about this as well, is well, one of which is that it's a bomber, obviously. Now, being a bomber, basically will give it the bomber spawn. And on certain maps, that's not very high at all. It's maybe 1,500 meters to 2,000 meters. Now, getting this stock, you're going to struggle to climb to a higher altitude, which is where it would be in real life. When this was used, it wasn't used at low altitude. It's a high altitude bomber. It's fully pressurized. You know, the crew are completely protected against the environment. Now, in War Thunder, this thing's going to spawn down at 2,000 meters. Maybe, if it's lucky, it'll climb up to 3,000 meters by the time the enemy will attack it. At that point, it's going to basically get overwhelmed. It won't get overwhelmed, it will just get shot out of the sky, because it won't be going very quickly, and it'll be at a low altitude. The main weakness I see this having, as far as someone attacking it goes, well, there's kind of two really. One is the engine size. These engines are enormous, very large targets on the wings that will take hits and then just burn up, I think. The second one being it has no forward firing guns here in the nose. Now, you might think that's not much of a problem, but yeah, that becomes an issue, because you've got nothing to protect yourself from a direct frontal attack. You've got guns here and here. They have to turn 180 degrees to fire at anything coming at you from the front. If you're engaging targets from the rear, or not watching out at this particular enemy coming in from the front, then yeah, he will have a free attack straight at your pilots, which is just sat behind this glass here. And although, you know, they do have a little bit of armor, that's only 6.5mm thick. A 20mm cannon round or a 50 cal round will go through that quite easily. In fact, it'll probably go through. A sec, actually, that was really thick there. Yeah, but that's at the head height. Yeah, so if you were shooting there, it will go through that one, and that one. Which pretty much puts all, you know, any shots that you're firing through the front will end up back here somewhere, which isn't good for the plane. It's certainly not good for the pilots, because they're sat up the front. Yeah. So that's, in my opinion, pretty much the main weakness for the B29. I will. I'm tempted to research that and try it out. I will do. I'm thinking about it, but you just have to bear me a sec whilst I go through some of the other changes that have been listed. At least that I've noticed. Okay, now as far as the Germans go, the Germans, they've got a change to the Horton. HO229 has now received more powerful engines, apparently. Nothing's changed as far as the modules go. Performance, that's increased by about 12 miles an hour, I think. Off the top of my head, it's still got an insane repair cost though, considering that it is a Horton. And it's not a MiG-15 or a Sabre. Now, let's have a quick look at the other thing. The other thing that they added in was this aircraft, the 109G14. Now, with regards to the previous variants, G6 for example, I think the only real difference is the number. I don't honestly think there will be that much difference with regards to what it can carry and its performance. Certainly not as far as what I can see there is concerned. Yeah, anyway, as far as the Germans go, I believe that's pretty much it as far as aircraft goes for what's been added in. I'll go back and do the tanks for each of the nations in after I've been through the aircraft changes. Now, yeah, they've added a new IL-2 for the Russians. Yeah, we need another one of those, obviously. And I think that might be it. They might have added something else in. But to be honest, it's Russian. And yeah, I don't really care. So I'm going to leave that for the time being. I move on to the Japanese. Japanese, I know they've added in one new aircraft for this, which I can't actually see. Okay. There it is, yeah. The J2M4 Kai Raiden. Or Raiden. It's a variant of the J2M3 with... Now that's interesting, they've not actually done that. Let me just have a quick look. No information. Yeah, I was reading earlier on about this particular variant of the J2M3, and from what I was reading, it apparently had at least one, maybe two 20mm cannon in the Schrage music fashion, i.e. they were pointing rather, obliquely upwards at a particular angle, so that this aircraft could basically go underneath the bomber and use those to shoot at the belly. Now, see, that isn't on this particular variant, so it's going to be interesting to see. Well, that's a premium anyway, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they do actually add that in. I don't know if they will do or not. Now, as far as anything else goes, I think the only other major league changes are to do with tanks. So they've added in quite a few tanks. Now I know other people have already touched on these already, so I'm only going to fly through these fairly quickly. You've got a new Pershing Premium there, Tier 4 at 7,480 gold. If you want to buy that, help yourself. You're obviously insane. You won't see me spending that amount of gold on any vehicle in game. It's just too much. That's just far too much. If that had maybe 80% off, then I might consider it, but no, not for that amount. It's just far too much. Now, as far as tanks go, I don't think, off the top of my head, that they've changed anything else with regards to the Americans. Just having a look now, can't see anything there, so let's move on to the Germans. Germans, I know they've added in a couple of new tanks here. They've got the Jeopard there, which is a new 20mm cannon A8 at battle rating of 2 with tier 1, sorry, which will basically mean it won't get up against any of the high tier stuff, which is pretty much as it should. I mean, to be honest, with battle rating of 2.0, that's a little bit too high anyway. That should be low in my opinion. It's only got a 20mm cannon. It's not going to be penetrating T-34 with that, which is what it'll be fighting with that battle rating. Now, with regards to anything else that they've added, I know they've added in the Marder 3H, which is a variant of the Marder 3. This one has a 75mm German cannon, not the 76mm, which is currently on the one in game. So I'd imagine that would have. Quick look. It's actually got worse penetration. Okay, that's probably because it's stock ammunition. I think I might have better ammunition on the one I've got. Let's have a quick look. Well, that's the heat round, so I won't be using that ever. And yeah, there we go, 152. So yeah, does have a better penetrating ammunition type at least. Let me just check with the other one. That was 152 at 10 meters. And we don't want to do that. We want to do this. There we go. And that was 153. Yeah, so pretty much the same guns, to be honest. Yeah, there won't be really any. Actually, no, there will be one slight difference between it. Yeah, for whatever bizarre reason this is, this variant, the one with the 76mm cannon, has a 2-second longer reload time, pretty much, over this one. This one reloads at 7.6 seconds with a 75mm cannon, and this one, because it's got a 76mm cannon, takes 9.3 seconds. Which, yeah, that's over a second longer for 1mm of extra caliber. Can't figure that one out. Yes, anyway, on to what else has been added. Now, I know they've had it in one of these, for example. This one, a Tiger E. What they've basically done is they're going to replace the Tiger 1 there, the H1. That's getting dropped down to a lower battle rate. I believe it's actually going to be 5.3 by the time the server comes out. And that's going to have a battle rating of around about 5.7. There has been a battle rating matchmaker announcement made by Gaijin with regards to these vehicles, or with regards to the battle rating changes, which go into effect from tomorrow. But I've already heard that, like I say, these battle ratings are going to get changed come when the dev server does get released, I believe. Whether or not that is the case is, you know, it could be just hearsay at the moment. But the fact is, you know, they are going to be changing some things around. Now, the last little thing, which again people are going crazy about, is this thing, the Morse. Now, with the Morse, if you're not aware of this vehicle, yeah, jump onto Wikipedia. I'm not going to be doing a massive review on this, at least at the moment anyway. The Morse is kind of legendary, but at the same time it was never used. It never got past the prototype stages and was never used in combat. So we never, you know, there was no real combat experience or anything like that with regards to its use in historical context or realistic context. Now let's have a quick look at some of these armor values. And where's the X-ray? There we go. It's the X-ray. Now that's not a bad thing. They've actually shown pretty much as the internal workings were on this vehicle. The engine was enormous and it went straight down the middle from what I've seen of the photographs. They're on each other's lap. Surely that's not a good thing. Germans aren't exactly the most friendly people, I don't think. That seems a little bit cozy. Let's have a quick look. It is interesting to see, you know, the internal kind of loading or workings for this. Only one gunner, even though there's two guns, but they do fire coaxially, so that's not, you know, major league. But one other thing I do know about the Morse, which they haven't put into game from what I can tell, certainly not on the list in there, was that the or at least on one of the variants of the Morse, they initially envisaged putting a 20mm cannon coaxially mounted in the turret. So as well as these two weapons, it also had a 20mm cannon for use against lightly armoured vehicles and infantry formations, because obviously this is kind of overkill for shooting at infantry, and that's kind of overkill for shooting at infantry, so, you know, or armoured cars, for example, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, this is just been dropped in. I don't think this is going to be able to be something that I can just research straight away. I would have to, you know, research it maybe at least another 3 of these actually, and then research, well, at least these that and that to get to it, obviously. Which I don't think I've enough gold for. And the other issue as well being I don't have enough lines for either. So that isn't going to happen for me, at least for the time being. Just think if there's anything else they added in on the German territory. I don't think there was. I know with the Russians they have them. We'll just briefly go over them. With the Russians, they've got a new tank here, the T-26, which is pretty much like a T-50, but with a slightly different turret on it. And I think it's got slightly better armor as well, maybe. Yeah, slightly better armor. But yeah, that's a new Russian premium, and I don't think there's any more premiums added in there. No. But they've also added in another variant of the T-28 with the same gun. Yes. It's interesting for me to see, to just look at these, because I've not looked at them in a while, and not at least in a particular objective way. And one thing I can tell you straight away is, yeah, where the machine guns, why are they not listed under the armament of this vehicle? It has 2 forward turrets and a coaxial machine gun. I assume that they're not working in game. I'm assuming that because I've not driven these in quite a while. The T-35, for example, I know that the secondary turrets with the machine guns all work. So yeah, this is another issue that needs to be addressed by Gaijin. They need to get that sorted out as soon as possible. In my opinion, there is a huge disadvantage for not having a machine gun working on your tank compared to having a machine gun work on your tank, especially in regards to your effectiveness against other vehicles that you might encounter. Now, the other vehicle that I know that they've added in is another variant of the T-54, the 1949 mod, which, yeah, it's not T-54, so I'm not going to be touching on them for quite some time, I imagine. Especially with the current way the matchmaker works. But yeah, we'll see what happens with regards to the way that the ground forces develop over the coming months or possibly even years, because it might take more than sorted out. Now, I did actually touch on the Germans earlier and I completely forgot the Condor. Yeah, this is another new aircraft that they've added in. A bomber. Well, it's actually a maritime bomber that the Germans developed. That's actually mistakenly kind of listed as well, I think, as a heavy bomber. It was more of a medium bomber or long-range maritime bomber than anything. It didn't have a heavy bomber load in comparison to a heavy bomber. As you can see, it could carry around about 3,000 kilograms worth of explosives, which isn't really that much, especially in comparison to something like the Lancaster, for example, or the B-17, which are heavy bombers. This is not a heavy bomber. It was basically a civilian aircraft that was converted for military use by the Germans. Its prime use was for maritime raiding or bombing, or reconnaissance even, and it was also used as a transport aircraft as well. It wasn't used, as far as I know, as a heavy bomber, i.e., bombing strategic targets, and therefore that title, in my opinion, is wrong. But it's Gaijin. They need to kind of have their titles for various reasons, for achievements more than anything, I suppose. Yeah, so we might as well let them off for that. Now, is there anything else that they're doing as far as this goes? Not that I'm aware of. I am going to now just jump back to the Americans. I've just realised something actually. I don't think I'm going to have enough lions to put. I can't even buy it. To put this into service. So I'm kind of stuffed with regards to that. But what I'm going to do though is test out the Horn, because mine is fully upgraded. So I'm going to do a quick test with it and see what we can get. I'm not. You can forget about me doing arcade Gaijin. That's not why I will ever hang around for very long. I've added a M42 then. Right, I'll have a look at that as well. But yeah, it's AA. And it's ground forces as well, so I think I'll be waiting with that one. from what I saw there, to buy it was 380,000 lines. So it's probably going to cost me in the region of maybe about 180,000 lines to put the crew into it, and then another 380,000 to export them as well. So you're looking at around about, I don't know, 800,000 lines or so, maybe closer to 1 million, with regards to getting it fully sorted out as far as the crew goes. But yeah, the way that I see things happening with the B-29, it's not going to be in a very happy place. That is for sure. Yeah, this is going to be a long queue of that, I am pretty sure. Roughly speaking, yeah. You're looking at 500,000 to put it into your hangar and put a crew into it, basically. So you could fly out at that point, but that would be without having the expert on the crew. Interesting thing is, but at least from my perspective anyway, is that at least they've got the events working on the dev server. That I'm kind of semi-impressed with. At least you know, they are actually trying. I think when I've tried out the dev server before, that didn't work at all. So you didn't really have much options as far as gameplay went. You know what? This is going to take too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick custom battle with this. I'll probably do the same thing with the V-29 as well. Or a test flight with it at least. Right, so let's get this up. Start it up. Like I say, I've heard that they've changed the performance of this aircraft, so I'm interested in seeing how well it does. In my opinion, the previous variant was very underpowered, considering it's supposed to be a jet. But we'll now see what changes have been made. I'm assuming it's going to accelerate quite a bit faster. There we go, yeah. It's starting to accelerate a lot quicker now. So, yeah, that seems massive improvement in performance. If you've watched any of my other games with the Horton, then you'll know what I mean. This, normally by the time I'd reached the end of the airfield, I'd be doing maybe about 160 miles an hour, was braking 230 there, and it's still accelerating fairly quickly as well. I'm climbing as well. That's in, well, when I fly this in the normal 1.45 server, it will climb very slowly and accelerate even slower. You see how far it accelerates in a dive. Whoa. That's nice. I'm liking this already. This is a good change. This basically means it's now performing as a jet, not as a prop plane. I have taken it up to its top speed before in level flight, or rather in a dive, but it doesn't tend to hold it very well. It'll be interesting to see if I can get anywhere near it. I am at low altitude at the moment, so that will slow it down a fair bit. Yes, it's not really accelerating very well now. But it is a lot better than it was before. Before it accelerated like worse than a propeller aircraft. Okay, so I find the airfield. I'm just going to make a quick attack run. I mean, this is kind of easiest of the easy, really. I'm actually fighting against the Germans. Okay. Oops. Well, I got him. But, yeah. The guns seem to fire a little bit quicker as well from what I saw there. At least as far as the velocity went anyway. Now, I'm going to drop back to the hangar. And I think I'm going to grab the Condor. Check that out. From what I can tell, yeah, that has been changed, but it's been changed for the better. Which I'm kind of glad for, but it is late for me. I had that back in 1.43, and yeah. I've probably been flying it now for about 6 months with its broken current flight model. Now, so let's have a quick look at the Condor. This is going to be dirt cheap to research, so I'm just going to boost that. Yes. Buy it. Now, how many gunners does this have? 4. Okay, that will do for that crew then. Upgrade the crew. 27,000, that's dirt cheap. So that should get that into action now. I'm going to try and have a realistic, I think. So quick look. No, that's not going to happen. Alright, so it's going to be another custom battle again. Let's have a quick look at bomb load. It's limited to 6250, so not much I can do about that. But I can just throw it into a quick game. Use your Golden Eagles from your in-game account, but you don't actually spend them. So when it comes to the actual release of the server, or of this particular patch, all of the gold is refunded back into your account because it's not part of your account. This is basically a duplicate account for the dev server. Okay, so this is the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor. I have actually been looking forward to this being put into the game. an interesting skin they've decided to choose for it. I'm not sure why. It's not bad, but it's not brilliant in my opinion. They could have maybe chosen one of the more distinct camouflage schemes. It is a really nice looking plane though, I have to say. Also seems rather slow as well. Let's test out some diving and see how fast it can go. Okay, but it's struggling. Oh no, it's still the same. It's still accelerating, but it's not accelerating as I would expect it to. Pretty much any aircraft with, there we go, 100% throttle, and you start putting into a dive like that, it should start accelerating pretty rapidly. Maximum speed there was about 270 odd miles an hour. I might have to check that one out on the websites. So yeah, the bomb load at the moment is 6 250 kilogram bombs stock, which isn't bad. I think that might be just enough to do a base. I'm going to try that out now, just to see. As far as flight handling and performance goes, kind of sluggish. I mean, it is quite a heavy aircraft. It does have 4 engines and it is quite large. So, you know, you kind of expect it to not have fighter performance. It's stock as well for me at the moment, so I'm not really expecting miracles as far as it taking damage is concerned, or dishing it out as far as machine gun fire goes either. Everything on this aircraft is stock. And that's all bombs gone. Let's just turn away. And then we'll have a look. See how well the bombs do. I'm guessing that was probably just enough to do that base. Which, yeah, that's not too bad. Now, I can't really get a good feel for the damage on this because I'm only against reserve aircraft. On reserve aircraft, they just won't do hardly any damage to this, and also won't face this in combat. So, it's not really good test with regards to that kind of thing. So, I'm going to come out and have a look at something else. But yeah, this is the Focke-Wulf Condor, or Focke-Wulf 200 I think it is, Condor, which is one of the new aircraft that's just getting put into game at 1.47. I know a lot of people, including myself, are looking forward to. Right, so back to the hangar. Okay. Now, yeah, only 1,080 people online. 27 battles. That, I mean, this is all new stuff. I mean, I was expecting a few more people on than that, to be honest, to be playtesting this kind of stuff, but yeah. Yeah. Let's have a quick look. Like I say, I can get this now, but I just wouldn't be able to afford to put it into service. But what I could do is take it out for a test flight. 25,000, 40, I think that'll do nicely. Right. Fuel out and no. That's pretty low. So yeah, this is the B-29. The Uber Fortress, or Super Fortress, if you want that. Just going to do a Pearl Harbor attack on Pearl Harbor. Yeah, not too bad. Well, let's try it again, shall we? This is the issue, you see. As I said, if someone is attacking you from the front, you've got about 10 seconds to wait for your turret to turn around before you can even start firing. And then, if you look, the issue you have is if the enemy's above, you can use your top turret, or maybe two top turrets if you're lucky, if it's coming at you from maybe there. If it's coming from below, it'll be the same kind of situation. So you might be able to get just about get two turrets on him, but you're not shooting directly at them. You've not got any frontal armament, or directly on the nose. So someone coming in at you in a head-on position can quite easily snap your pilot without you doing anything about it. Now, as far as rearward fire goes, you should be able to get around about 650 cals on a target coming in from the rearward quarter. Well, above or below the aircraft. There's no waist gunners on this, so you're pretty much limited to just the turrets, but if someone is kind of coming in from the side, they do have a bit of an advantage, I suppose, in that you've only got two turrets shooting at them, but it's the same thing as if they come in from the front. The difference being that they have less, the turrets have less time to turn with regards to shooting at someone from the rear or side compared to someone that's shooting at from the front. But yeah, that's pretty much the B-29. Now, I don't think there are any enemy vehicles on this that will serve I've created or custom battling. But I am interested to see how well this thing lands. So, ditch all these bombs, of which there are many. Well, that's a lot of bombs. This does have a lot of bombs, I'll give it that. And now I'm going to try and land it. See how well this thing was handled. In fact, it does handle not bad considering its size. I might have to try the GA-M1 out again, see if they've changed the flight model for that, because this, in my opinion, should have a worse flight model, or flight performance, than the GA-M1. GA is smaller than this. But the handling, by quite a margin. Just doing this for a quick test. I want to just check something more than anything. Landing. Now this is a really short. If I do actually get down, I don't think I'll be able to take off. It's more of a fighter length runway. Landing gear takes a while to come down by those things. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty shady landing, I think. Ooh, there we go. Try to spin with it, see if it will topple. I think it won't. No. Okay, so there we go, B-29. You can actually land on quite a short runway. It only took about 200 meters to start. Maybe 300, I'm not sure. Distance in this game. Kind of hard to calculate sometimes. See if we can take off again. That's going to be interesting. Nope, it's not going to give me the option. It says no. I'm not going to let you try that. Instead, here's a vehicle to bump. Hold back. Use all of your 20,000 pounds worth of explosives on this single vehicle. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Yeah, that was 13 bombs that I just dropped on that vehicle. Not going to be pleasant for him. And now we're going to do a Pearl Harbor attack proper. Because the plane has turned traitor. Screw you, America. interesting. Yes, apparently this might be lacking a flight model, per se. That should do that, carry it. Okay, right, well that's enough messing around for me for the time being. I'm going to drop back to the hangar and just have a double check just to make sure that I've not missed out on anything. It's being added in. I did notice I had a lot more information with regards to the patch. For that kind of information, you're going to have to check the forums yourself at the moment. I do have the link, so I can post it if you want it, but yeah, there's a lot of information to go through, so unless you're looking for something in particular, it may take you some time to find it. One thing that I have noticed, this is actually not, well, it is actually implemented. Okay, I wasn't sure if it would be on the dev server or not, but the Tide Cat has had a major leg nerf. Look at that battle rating. If you can't see that, it's 6.7. When that thing first came to the game, it had a battle rating of 5. Yes. Oh, it was 5.3. Now it's at 6.7. Which, yeah, I kind of, with the current matchmaker, that's pretty much where it should actually sit, I think. Not where it was when it first came into the game. When it first came into the game, it was just stupid. Another silly mistake by Gaijin, where they hadn't really thought about what they were doing. Yeah, it's just the way it goes with Gaijin at times. Now, just double check. I don't think I've missed anything else out from the Americans, but I'm not 100% sure. There are things that will seep through the cracks. The M42 is one of them, which, yeah, it's basically another AA unit for the Americans. AA, I'm not that bothered about, to be honest. Apart from the way that I see it at the moment, which is player-based, AA is far more powerful than AI-controlled AA. Yeah, which needs to be addressed in my opinion as well, but you know, Gaijin. But I think that's pretty much it for the from the dev server as far as new aircraft goes in vehicles. At least from what I can see anyway. I know they have done several changes to flight models for various aircraft, as well as a few changes to ground forces vehicles as well, or additions to ground forces vehicles I should say, as in the case of ammunition, that kind of thing. But that is pretty much it from me rather for the dev server for today. It is going to be up for about another 2 hours or so, but yeah, with that amount of players on, the only thing I'm guessing that you'll probably get into with that is going to be a lot of arcade games, where you won't actually get any kind of idea how any of these aircraft perform with regards to the changes that have been made to them. So yeah, utterly pointless to really be flying out in arcade on the dev server. I would try realistic battles, but there's just no one queuing, and it's probably the same for simulator battles as well. I'm guessing most people are either doing arcade or maybe custom battles, which, yeah, as you saw, is an easier way to test these things out. I also know one of the things that I know that as far as aircraft changes go is they have made some changes to the R2Y2 as well, but I'm more willing to wait with that until it's out on the actual server before checking them out. I might jump on later on in the week and have a quick look, but with this kind of player count, you won't see. I won't get into any games, at least I don't think I will anyway. So I'm going to call it there for the dev server, and I'll probably jump back on something else very shortly. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back on in a short while.